go. This is Emily C., my new best.
The idea that someone out there hates me. I even hate thinking that Al-Qaeda hates me. I think if they got to know me, they wouldn't hate me.
This stole the show. Emily C. was phenomenal.
There's something you need to know.
What?
You're doing great.
Look at my baby. Here she is. Emily. 10 out of 10. Huge fan.
I see Emily C says 123. I trust her. She's really...
Well, you gotta watch your language. You gotta watch your language. I'm already live. So you need to follow the FCC guidelines.
She destroyed, left nothing in her path. It was so good.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Can you hear me? I never know if you're going to be able to hear me. Hi, everyone. I'm Emily C. You might know me as Judge Frenier or 88 Connor, the superstar, maybe not so superstar, or Larry Tipton, Mr. Longest High that's ever lived. But today I'm just me, and today I'm really excited to be here. I haven't done one of these that's just me in a while, and you guys know it like makes me panic. But I'm like on a roll right now with just powering through the things that scare me. So here we are. Thank McKee K12 just said, I hope you're feeling better. I'm a little bit. My voice is back. So that's fun. And thank you for being, so it's my birthday weekend. I turned 40 on Sunday, and I feel like there's like a younger version of myself that's like screaming at me right now saying like, oh my God, you're so boring. But if you are a parent of young kids, then you will understand this. All I wanted for my birthday was peace and quiet. And I drove to a hotel, checked into a hotel by myself, and I am here. Okay. I've heard a lot of people say, no way you're 40, and I appreciate that. I feel 40. But if you heard the playlist that I was just listening to while I was getting ready for this, you would know 100% that I'm 40. I was like the definition of like, they used to call us like teeny boppers. Please tell me I'm not like alone in remembering that. It was like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, LFO, and that is still my playlist today. And that's okay. Hold on. KY Heather, you need to do this. Sorry, I have like lip gloss stuck to my lip. The second that I walked into this room, like the door shut behind me, I felt like I could breathe for a second. And like, if you have young kids at home, you know this. Like, I took a shower and like I could just be in the shower and not have to have like one ear out the bathroom door, like making sure that like Carter wasn't falling down the stairs or who knows what. I cannot recommend enough just going somewhere by yourself, even for a night, and just being alone. This is like, and yes, Cusco Wright said, is it a hotel in an undisclosed location? Yes, it's in an undisclosed location. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. I was telling Trial Channel while I was getting ready, like it's very hard to make a hotel background not look like I'm trying to film like with the bed in the background and stuff. So I did the best I could, but it's a weird background. So I appreciate you guys just bearing with me. And let me tell you about my day because I'm really proud of myself. Jung Forever said, "What was your birthday dinner?" I have not had a birthday dinner yet, so hopefully after this, I will get some birthday food. We'll figure it out. I can only handle so much. Listen. um, and as said, please tell me you ran and flopped on the bed. No, because if I did, I wouldn't be here right now. I would be fast asleep. But I wanted to be here with you guys. I felt like I wanted to do this after I left the court today because you all have been so like understanding and supportive of me. For people who live without having any anxiety, you might not understand this, but there's something about when your brain is like not like rationally that something is not scary, right? But your brain is like danger, terrible things are going to happen, and it's like you can't get over that feeling. That was how I felt about the idea of walking into a courthouse. I don't know why. It wasn't like I thought real danger was going to happen, like something bad was going to happen to me, but it's like a hurdle that is very hard to get past. And you all have been so just encouraging and like, you can do it. And like, I don't know how to explain how much that means because it kind of, it like makes me feel like I'm not alone when I'm doing something that is scary. And that was how I felt today. So I had gone to the courthouse 2 other times before today with the idea that I was going to go inside. Also, just so you guys know, I'm never sitting down ever at my house when I'm on a live stream. I'm always standing, and sitting feels weird and I don't quite know how to do it. Okay. So I had gone 2 other times before with the idea of going into the courthouse. And I got there the first time and just like immediately chickened out, like didn't even go up to the front steps. I went to the farmer's market and then I went home. The second time was when it was the hearing before the one where Lally took the stand, where Rosemary Scapicchio was there, and like nobody was in the courtroom. And I remember I was listening to Melanie and I was like driving back from Whole Foods and she was like, "Oh, do we have boots on the ground?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll go." And I got there and I was like, "Go inside, go inside, go inside." And I literally like walked in circles around the courthouse and did not go inside. I cannot explain to you why. I saw Adam Lally smoking a cigarette outside, so that felt like I did something productive. I saw Rosemary Scapicchio getting interviewed on the steps. I like followed her like a weirdo. And so this morning, I was getting Carter ready for school, and all of a sudden I was like, I'm going to court today. And I should do things like this more often, first of all, because I like got dressed. Normally I drop Carter off in like my pajamas at school, right? So I got dressed in regular clothes and he had the best morning because he was like excited that I was wearing, like I was dressed up. He kept touching my shirt and like coming over and like laughing, and like normally getting out the door is like, "Wah," like it's a whole back and forth, and it's like take a popsicle, take gummy, take whatever you need to just get in the car and get to school. And today I just put on fancier clothes and he was thrilled, like the happiest kid on earth. So that was a lesson for me also. So I decided to go to court today, and today was like the day to be there. Like I guess like everybody else had the same like bravery that I had this morning or something, because the courtroom was packed. Okay. I don't know where to start. Actually, where I should start is the biggest shout out thank you to Yellow Ledbettero Kim, who's been in the courtroom every day, or almost every day, I think, like reporting back to Melanie all these details. And I texted Melanie to let her know that I was going, and she was like, "Oh, do you want me to let Kim know?" So she texted Kim. The second I walked in the courtroom, I like froze. I was just like looking around, like, like where do I sit? What do I do? Where do I go? And I probably looked like a lunatic, just frozen there. And then she like waved to me, and I went over and sat with her, and she was like telling me like, okay, now we have to stand up, like now we have to do this. And that really made such a big difference for me. Like kind of overcoming this fear of just like having somebody there to be like, this is what's going to happen now. Like this is what you're going to do. So Kim, if you're here, thank you so much. So I walked into the courthouse. Let me explain to you in case you've had the same fear, because I think what's scary is like going to a place I've never, like an entity I've never been to. Like it doesn't scare me. Like when I was teaching, we had to do school visits at like schools in the area, and I would go into schools that I had never been to all the time. And that didn't scare me because it was like schools made sense to me. Like I would like understood schools. Like going to a new airport doesn't scare me because like I've been to one airport, so I like understand how airports work. And I know how crazy and like ridiculous this sounds to people who don't live with anxiety and like count your blessings. But like I've never been in a courthouse before, and I didn't know like what the etiquette is, like what, like when you walk in, like where do you go, what do you do? And that was, I think, the part that like scared me. So you walk in, you have to put all your things on a metal detector, like going to like the airport. And the big courtroom that we saw the Brian Walshe trial in, that also was the same one that like Karen Reed's like pretrial stuff was in. It's upstairs. And it's just like a cool building. It like felt very cool to be in there. It felt like being somewhere historic. Like it has that vibe. Like the second you walk in, it's kind of like if these walls could talk, like they would actually tell a really cool story. And to me, it felt, walking into the courtroom felt a little bit like walking onto like a movie set. And I kept trying to remind myself that like, this isn't like, to not get too kind of wrapped up in the like coolness of the fact that like I've seen this on TV and now I'm seeing it in real life, because it's like, it's not a movie, it is real life, you know? Like I didn't want to get too like starstruck or like, you know. But so I walked in, I sat down. So if you've been watching the Brian Walshe trial, to the right hand side when you walk in is where the like reporters sit, and then to the left hand side is where the like spectators, I don't know what we were actually called, and Brian Walsh's mom has been sitting in that like front row all to herself. We were in the row directly behind her, and Kim must be sitting there now like on purpose, because it's like the perfect view of the jury. You can like really see all of them. You can like really see like what they're looking at, where they're looking, what they're focused on. But it was also a funny angle to be at, because it was like directly staring at Brian Walsh's very creepy mother. And I will get to that in a second. Oh, Kim is here. Yay. She said, the fear is real. I appreciate that. I went when it was honestly his mom and I were the only ones on the side. Like, I can't even imagine, because, okay, I need to talk about her mom now, his mom now then. Brian Walsh's mother is like, okay, you know how they feel their energy coming off of them? She is like chilling. Like the way that she sits is very like cold. I don't even know how to explain it, but she sits like really straight up and down, and like her hair looks like if you bought like a witch's wig for Halloween. Like it's like, and I know, okay, I know that she hasn't been like accused of anything. I know that this all just could be like her son is on trial for murder, and that is scary, and just like probably a lot weighing on her. So like if that's all that this is, then like I apologize to her. But the vibe, it felt like a witch. Like she felt like she just a cold, chilling person. And when she turns her body, like when she turns around, like normal people will be like, oh, like what's that? And like kind of like turn your head first. She turns like there's like a pole going straight down her spine, and she's like, and she can't turn her head, and it just, there's something off. And like, okay, so I was taking notes. I put this on Twitter, but like I didn't take notes like a normal person does. Like I tried to, but I was mostly just writing down like what was going through my head. And at one point I just wrote, scary mom turned around. like there was just something. Yeah, I'm gonna tell. I want to talk more about the mom in a second. Okay, so I get into the courtroom. I sit down with Kim. She's just like the opposite of Brian's mom, like the warmest, friendliest, like just made me feel so comfortable right away. Literally, immediately forgot that I was scared and stayed that way. When Judge Frenier came into the room, it felt like when like your favorite teacher in high school like walked into the classroom and you like wanted her to know that you were doing a good job. Like she has that vibe where it's like everybody, you can just feel how much like everybody respects her and listens to her, and she just commands a room, and she's teeny. She's just like this itsy bitsy little adorable human, and she really commanded the room. So yes. Okay. So anytime the door opened, I like have ADD. I like turn around and like I hear a noise. I'm like, what's that? Like a squirrel. And every time I turned around where Connor Keefe was sitting, we would just like immediately make eye contact every single time. And I was like, oh my God, I want him to know like I'm not staring at him. Now I kind of am staring at him because like it's Connor Keefe, and I've like talked about Widow Baby Keefe for so long. He seemed just like a little like sweetie pie. I like kind of liked seeing him. I don't know. So there was a row that had the cops sitting in it, like the second row in, and so it was Connor Keefe was there. Harrison Schmidt, who was that first officer from Cohasset, he was sitting there. I want to say Fanning was there. Like I'm almost positive, but like don't quote me on it just in case it was a different guy that looked like Fanning, but I think it was Fanning. And then Yuri Buchanan was sitting like on the media side in like the back corner, and he was like on his cell phone the whole time, which I guess like on the media side you're allowed to be, but he was like on his cell phone in like an annoying way. He was like all hunched over and like made it very obvious that he was on his phone the whole time. And can I say a mean thing about Yuri Buchanan? He looked like he looked like even uglier in person. Like he looks ugly on TV. When I watch him testify, like his face looks like if it was like made out of Play-Doh and somebody like punched him in the mouth and then it stayed like that. Not just that he doesn't have, like, I don't have lips, so I can't talk, but like it's not just that he doesn't have lips. It's like his whole mouth like ate part of his face. Like it's like it's all smushed in. It's like it's not just no lips, it's like no face, like no it literally looks like somebody I don't know what's going on in his face. But I love that for him because like he sucks. Like if you were watching Melanie when the jury first went out to deliberate, she replayed the evidentiary hearing from when they were deciding if they could like let the Google searches in that Yuri like illegally followed, even though he didn't have a search warrant. And just like the way that he was testifying, it's just like so sketchy and I don't know, that's not a good guy. Don't like him. And yes, I'm really bad at reading these names. Marcia Noka said Turtle Boy was there. And I'm just, you guys, I need to chill out. Yes, Aiden was there. And I wanted, so I got to talk to Aiden today at the end of court. And it was the first, like, Aiden and I have talked a few times, but at like the Wilbur and at these kind of like bigger things. And getting to see him just like in a normal setting, when I left, I just kept thinking, like, he's just a normal guy. And it like really was making me sad to think of like what the police have done to him and like what the system has done to him. Like, he he puts on this like bravado and not like puts on, but like he has a big personality, the opposite of like whatever I'm doing right now, which is like just stream of consciousness. Like, he's very good at commanding an audience and getting people motivated and getting people excited. And part of doing that is like being controversial. And I feel like he's very good at like being controversial in a productive way. And like sometimes doing that, you run into trouble and like people know your strengths and your weaknesses and they can like kind of poke at your weaknesses. Getting to talk to him, just like standing outside the courtroom, just like regular people, like he's just a normal, nice, regular guy. And it like it's just really, I don't know how to explain it, but it just really made me sad to think about like what he's been put through. And I kind of wish that like Tully and Yuri and all of them like stopped seeing him as this like evil person that's like congregating the masses to like take over the world. And it's like he's really just advocating for justice. And Pure Duckery said he's brought a lot upon himself. Like, I understand all of that. Like, and like I said, like I do feel like there's a part of like being public facing that like you need to have a little bit of like I don't have the ability to like motivate the masses the way that he does. And I'm not like excusing any of the things that you just brought up, but I do think like it was just helpful for I think it would be helpful I think it would be helpful for the like Mass State Police to just remember like he's just a person with flaws, but like none of those things that were just brought up are like evil. Like Brian's mom seemed like somebody that they should be getting her phone and investigating where she's been a whole lot more than like what Turtle Boy's looking at. So anyways, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the beginning now. So, Judge Frenier comes in. They do a little like back and forth. You guys probably watched it, but they do. They were like talking about like what what's going to be on the form or something. I actually don't know. And then the jurors, everybody stands. The jurors. Oh, actually, the Brian comes in. It's like he has leg shackles on, so it like makes that like chain gang noise where it's like, oh, somebody bad is coming. But like to me, he didn't have the same vibe that his mom had. Like there wasn't like a chilling energy that yeah, I don't know. He like I didn't get that feeling. Yeah, so they took his red handcuffs off, his like 50 Shades of Grey, red room of pain handcuffs off. And he sits down, and from the angle that we were sitting at, I couldn't see his face, but like I could see where his attention was. So that was kind of fun to see. Like he did pay a lot of attention anytime that there was anything on the screen, like the what do you call it? Like any of the pieces of evidence, like he was like really intently staring at them. So that was interesting to see. Oh my gosh. Okay. So in the row behind us, so it went like Brian's mom in a row by herself. And then hi Corey. Corey asked if Brian Walsh is tall in person. I think everybody's tall because I'm short. He looked like regular height. Like he didn't strike me as like particularly tall, but he like wasn't short, just like a normal height. Yeah. But so in the row behind us was okay, actually the like whole area had a lot of Anna's like friends and coworkers and a lot of the people that had testified like in support of her. And I loved getting to see that. I wrote down here that a lot of the people in attendance clearly loved Anna. Like they were like holding hands, hugging. Like it almost felt like I was like a stranger at a funeral of like somebody I didn't know. There were a bunch of her coworkers. 2 of her coworkers were sitting in our row, and then this other guy came in and he was hugging everybody coming down the row, and then he just like hugged me and Kim too. And I was like, oh, is this like what we do at court now? I could not keep a straight face, so we hugged a stranger. It kind of felt like in church when you like say peace be with you to the people around you. Yeah, so we hugged a random person. But I think that there's been a lot of like chatter out here about like where are the people that are supporting Anna, like what like why doesn't she have more people like speaking out for her? And I definitely felt today like I was in the presence of people who like really loved and cared about her. So in the row behind us, now things are going to get, so that was nice. Now things are going to get a little weird again. So Jem Mutlu was sitting in the row behind us. And, okay. So there was like a man, a woman, Jem, a woman. And so there's like 2 women on this side, 2 women on this side. But this woman was like with another man. All of their hands were on Jem. Like, you know, when you generate like an AI picture and it will like do something weird where it's like too many fingers or like too many hands. Like I looked back at Jem at one point and there were just like hands everywhere, like all over him, like holding him everywhere. And then like he was holding all of them. Like he was somehow holding like all of their hands. And like in one sense it was very like lovely, like that's very supportive and that's nice. Okay, there's people saying who is Jem. So Jem Mutlu, which somehow you also can spell Jem CEM. He was Anna's coworker, who she also like had a crush on at one point, and then he also is the one that introduced Anna and Brian to Will Fastow, who Anna ended up starting an affair with. And he is a real estate agent in the area. And I guess he like owns, I don't know his exact role, but a company that like Melanie has said like only hires beautiful women. It's very like Selling Sunset, like all these beautiful women. And they really were like I felt like I was supposed to have gotten like my hair and makeup done before going to court. Like they were all like dressed to the nines, like perfect hair, perfect makeup, like like beautiful people. But it was just like an interesting crowd. Jem must be hiding some secret equipment. That's funny. Okay, so Jem's real estate team also sold 4 of Anna's 8 properties, Kate says. I have so many questions about the real estate deals. Yeah, I don't like know real estate at all, but when he was explaining when Anna sold one property and then he was like, she only had like this amount of time to like reinvest the money. I was like, oh, I should like look into that. It seems like that's like lucrative. I should learn more about that. But yeah, so he was very dramatic. So the what do you call it? The opening statements start. Okay. First of all, I need you to understand how close the podium is to the poor girl sitting on the end of the jurors. So the jurors are in their like jury box. They're like in a pew, and like the pew ends, and like Larry Tipton pulled the podium up like inches from the poor girl's face on the end. Like, so when you hear Larry talking that loud, being like, and he saw that she was murdered, but he didn't kill her, and then he had to chop her up. He was doing that in this one girl's face right at the end. And I just like could not get over how close they are to the jurors. Yeah, that was shocking to me. I wrote down like 4 times on here, like, I have no idea how the jurors keep a straight face. Like, even I was thinking, like, you know, when you go to a restaurant and the waiter will come up and be like, okay, the specials today. And you're like, I know I don't want the special. Like, I already know what I want, but they're saying the special. And you're like, yeah, like, oh, the swordfish. Ooh, you might like that. Like, I feel like I would be the worst juror because I would just be like nodding with everybody, like, or like every time he yelled, like, okay, there's a way to do the like quiet, like, okay, I'm gonna tell you the next thing, but like I'm being quiet because I'm like drawing you in. He didn't do that. He just kind of like talked loud and then quiet. So he would start like talking quietly and he'd be like, and Anna had an emergency in Washington, D.C. And then suddenly, and it's like, oh my gosh, what are we screaming about? And like, it was shocking every time. But then I would look over at the jurors and they were all just like, every single one of them was just straight face, like poker face. They were engaged. Okay, so they were definitely like very engaged when Larry Tipton first started. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the sound because then I rewatched it. I saw the camera guy go over at one point and try to like turn the microphone. I think it was just like the mic was weird, but he was very loud. But when he started, they were like all very, very engaged. And towards the end, it felt like they were all listening, but like they weren't like on the edge of their seat. They weren't nodding along. They weren't like, they can't take notes during it. So it is hard to tell like what they're getting and what they're not. And that's why it was really helpful to have Kim there, because at one point I was like, there was one juror, I want to say like 3, but don't quote me on that. And she like would not make eye contact with him. And when he said the first Google search, she like grimaced and kind of looked away. But then Kim was like, oh, no, that's kind of like been her vibe the whole time. So that was helpful to be like, okay, she's not like reacting to like what he's saying. That's just like kind of her vibe. I don't know who that person, there's someone, Cassandra just asked who was the lady sitting near the court officer. I don't know who anybody is. If anybody knows, that would be helpful. Emily, do the Brian audio interviews sound as awful in person? As awful like sound quality wise, or as awful like content wise? Because there was one moment. Oh shoot. There was one moment where I like had a like I reacted, and then I started. Oh my gosh! Also, I started to think like, was that number 4, the note taker? That was the one who like wouldn't make eye contact. I had a couple moments where I was like, oh my gosh, like, am I gonna like give anything away to the jurors? Like, not even that I like my opinion matters, but I didn't want them to see me be like, and then have that like sway them at all. Um, I okay, I'm jumping all around, but when Yaz started the prosecution's closing, she was like, Anna Walsh is dead, and that man killed. And she pointed like at like the angle was like I felt like she was pointing at me, and I was like, I literally jumped. I hope no jurors saw that. That was scary. I'm surprised that Brian didn't jump. So yes, okay, let me think. It's funny seeing the jurors because I can't explain. It looks like typecasting of the most just like slice of life that you could grab. Like, hey, let me get like a slice of Norfolk County. And I mean that in a good way. Like, it was just very like, we have all our bases covered. We have like we checked all the boxes of like any type of person we wanted to get. Okay, we got her, we got him, we got her, we got him. Like, it was a good jury. But yeah. They all were like perfect poker faces. Yeah. Okay, let me look at my notes and see. Guarino wasn't there. I was kind of excited to see him. Once I realized that like the cops were going to be there, I was like, oh, where's Guarino? I want to see if he's limping. I wrote down like 15 times on here, like Larry Tipton kept trying to say like it's his job. He's trying to prove premeditation, but everything that he said went against the idea that this was premeditated. It's like, if this was premeditated, why would you only premeditate up to the actual event? And like the premeditation means like you've thought through what you're gonna do. Like, premeditation is not I have an idea of like, I don't want her around anymore, so I'm gonna take her out, and then, oh shoot, now I did it. So yeah, like everything he said to me went against the idea of premeditation. That said, I don't know if I would be like as deeply analyzing that based on his closing as I am now, based on like what I've learned from like you guys and from Melanie and from Brother Counsel and everybody else that I watch, because I didn't feel like the defense's closing highlighted the fact that like this is what murder in the first degree means. And I felt like Larry Tipton needed to take a lesson from Alan Jackson's second closing, where it's like less about like the jurors have heard the whole story, and this was a shorter trial, so it's like the story is fresh for them. What you need to do now is like explain what murder one was and explain why none of this fits with that. And I didn't feel like he was doing enough of like highlighting how much evidence there was on the one side of it and not on the other side. If you're going to Google like all of that nonsense, you don't think at one point in your like premeditation you're going to Google something? Like, no, I don't know. Yeah, so if you're a lawyer, I think everybody take a lesson from Alan Jackson's second closing, where it's like explain how the facts fit into the law more. That would be my advice. So, yeah. I'm trying to think. Okay, so they started. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at my notes for 1 second. I'm going to play you guys a commercial. Hold, please.
If a lawyer says objection, you will either hear me say sustained or overruled, because under the rules, those are the only two responses a judge can give. And in this courtroom, we follow the rules. 88 Connor, you may proceed. Brian said Anna left their Cohasset home and had to fly back to Washington, D.C. for a work emergency. At the same time, he was searching for the best way to dispose of a body, can you throw away body parts, how to saw a body, how to dismember a body. But you guys should keep an open mind. It really doesn't make a difference either way. Whatever you decide is fine with me. Okay, jurors, everybody up. It's shake a leg time. He began to get in bed with Anna, and he sensed that something was wrong. He nudged Anna, and she didn't respond. He nudged her again a little harder. She didn't respond. He nudged her now in a frantic and panicked reaction to where she actually rolled off the bed. It didn't make any sense that someone that he loved, that he had just spent New Year's Eve with, would suddenly be dead. So he did what any one of us would do. He went to Lowe's, he bought $500 worth of tools, and he went back home to dispose of the woman that he loved, just like any one of us would have done.
Like, that was their argument. Like, that was really their argument. The whole closing, Larry Tipton was like, sometimes people die, and you don't know what you're going to do if you love somebody and they die. And you'll probably be so panicked that you're not thinking clearly, and then you'll just chop them up. And he was very focused today on the search that was 6 hours like into the psycho searching. So Brian's searches started at like 4:52 a.m., right? And it was like how to dispose of a body, blah, 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 blah. And then like, I guess what was starting to come up in the Google searches were like the right thing you're supposed to do, like how to dispose of a body. And the things that were coming up were like call the coroner and like go to a burial ground and like blah, like the protocol in society for what you're supposed to do. And instead of let's pretend that really it was just a freak SADS. Brian got the right answer like 50 times in front of him, and then he needed to add the words if how to dispose of a body in a murder, and then he was able to like find the answers he was looking for, like hacksaws and other things, because normal people get the right answer, which is call 911. Or like I was like imagining like maybe if there's like if somebody lives in like a really remote part of the country where like 911 is like I don't know. I was trying to give like a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, but then I was like, no, like this is the right answer. You call 911. But I guess he got the right answer so many times, and he wanted the wrong answer. So then he added in if you murdered them, and Larry Tipping kept being like, don't be shocked that he used that word. It's like, well, how else are we supposed to feel? Nancy just asked, was her boyfriend in the courtroom today? Not that I saw. I don't think so. Um, Alyssa Kirby was there in the row of touching gem people. And she was very upset. Like, um, a, a little over the top upset, but like, I get it. It was a lot. I felt, okay. I felt, from both, and this could be wrong. This was just my read on the situation. I could have been reading it completely wrong. There were a few times when Larry Tipton was using Jem's words and using Alyssa's words to support his argument that it felt like they were offended by that, like upset about that, which that was very understandable. But then it felt like they almost did like the Ally McCabe thing where it's like, oh shoot, I said Colin wasn't in the house when John was there. I'm just gonna like start crying. Like, at one point, Larry said, Alyssa Kirby said, they were having marital problems or something like that. And then she went, and then he said, I'm paraphrasing. Like, it almost felt like he heard her gasp. And then he was like, I'm paraphrasing her words, of course. And then she like started crying. And like, I don't know if she was crying because she felt like she had said something in her testimony that was helping defend Brian, or if she like wanted to kind of prove to the group that she like really loved Anna. But yeah. Sorry, you just said muted, and that really scared me that I've been muted have I been muted this whole time? Okay, so then Jem had kind of that same feeling where it was like anytime that Larry Tipton brought up anything that Jem had said, he was making that face he was making on the stand at the end, like he like kind of just had his mouth open. It was kind of just like like a weird facial expression. Like, he seems like a very magnetic person that people are clearly drawn to. As somebody that like doesn't own the other end of that magnet, I didn't quite get it. Also his shoes were untied. Like, I felt like I wanted to go over. So he was sitting outside when I was talking to Aiden at the end. He was sitting out on like a little bench and he looked like a little kid. Like, both of his shoes were like fully untied, like not like one shoe, like the loops came out. It was like shoelaces like all over the floor. And I like really wanted to go over and be like, hey, like, do you need me to tie your shoes for you? I don't know if maybe that's like how he gets these like women. Like, maybe it's a ploy, like when people bring like a cute dog to the dog park and then it like gets women. But there was something like he looked like he's not elderly enough to have his shoes untied and he's not a little kid. So it's like, why are your shoes untied? I don't know. Cyber Chick said such a kindergarten teacher. I'm like, everybody check your shoelaces. Can't trip in the hallway. But I didn't get like nefarious vibes from him or anything like that. It was just kind of like he just seems like an interesting guy. Like, I don't think I had kind of heard the rumblings, like if we're gonna go down a conspiracy road of like Anna's still alive, she's a spy, the FBI, and the downtown crossing apartment, and blah blah. And like, I didn't get the vibe from him. I mean, maybe he's just a really good spy, but I didn't get the vibe from him that he's like protecting like a government assets. Like, it just felt like he wanted to make sure that he put on the best like performance that he could so that he could get justice for his friend that he loved. Something very interesting at the very end of the prosecution's closing, they put a picture of Jem and Anna, And I feel like that got under Brian's skin. And I wonder if they did that on purpose for his reaction, because he stared. So there's a big screen that the evidence goes on. That's the one that we see like on the camera when the camera pans. Each one of the jurors, or like every 2 jurors, have a little like Dell desktop screen that they can see that same evidence on. And then Brian has his own screen like directly in front of him. And they put the picture of Jem and Anna, and he was like staring so intently at it, and like enough time that I was like watching him for a little, and I was like, wow, like he's been staring at that for a while. And then I like turned to Kim, I was like, he's been staring at the screen for a while. And then she had time to like look up from what she was writing and look, and he was still staring like that. It was like I think it really got to him. I don't know if it was like, I don't know what was going through his head, but yeah, that was interesting to see. Kim pointed out to me that Brian's mom only puts on her glasses to glare at the jury. And it was like so true. Like every once in a while, she would just like put her glasses on and like stare intently at them, and then like take her glasses back off and be like, do her weird like turn thing again. So yeah, it I don't know. The mom might be the one that Yuri should have spent a little bit more time talking to. And even so, for anybody, I don't have like the clips pulled up or ready, but for anybody who was watching Melanie, like I said, she played the evidentiary hearing when the jurors went out. And Yuri took the stand. And he said something that like stuck with me after seeing the mom like be so weird now. When he very first sat down with the mom, he was like, Diana Walshe like wouldn't speak to us, and she was like very intently texting on her phone instead of like looking up at Yuri. And like, listen, like not a face you really want to look at, but like the cops are there, they're asking you questions, you should probably answer them. And he said when she finally did respond to him, the first thing she said was, I'm sorry, he's my only son. And it like, that's like, to me, that's like a confession. Like, I'm sorry, he's my only son. And then she lied to Yuri because she said, she said to him, I am doing everything. Okay, so she said, I'm sorry, he's my only son. I'm doing everything I can to find Anna. I hired a private investigator in Washington, D.C. But she didn't hire the private investigator to find Anna once she was missing. She hired the private investigator like December 25th because she knew that Anna was having an affair, and she wanted the private investigator to not dispose, sorry, I just looked at something else. She wanted the private investigator to expose, big difference, expose Anna. Mitchell asked a good question. Does mom look like a medium Tyvek? No, mom looks like a extra small Tyvek. She's like itsy bitsy, but an extra small can fit into a medium. Brian Walshe doesn't look like he could fit into, I don't know how big a medium is. Like, sometimes you go to like Target and like you might be like a large somewhere else, but at Target you're like an extra small. I don't know like how the sizing runs for Tyveks, but okay. With that question too, everything about the police investigation to me is like the exact opposite of how my brain works. Like I want to know I want to know like the stupid stuff. Like I want to know useless. I want every single bit of useless information. I want to know like where was the mom? when was her surgery? Where was she on New Year? I mean, that's not useless information, but I want to know, like, I want to know everything. And to me, it feels like every single one of these Mass State Police investigations that we've seen so far has been checking boxes. Like, what we need to go to trial is like one piece of evidence, one cell phone record, one this, one that. And it's like, once you check that box, they're like, great, we got the Google searches done. And it's like Melanie and Bettero has said a lot, like intellectual curiosity. It's like not even like intellectual curiosity. It's like did anybody else read like Cam Jansen books when you were a kid, or like the Bobbsey twins, or who are some of the Matt Christopher? Okay, I was like a little tomboy when I was a kid, but the Matt Christopher like sports mystery books where they'd be like, we know who did it because we found like the ticket stub on the ground. Like, they don't have that. Like, they're literally like, okay, to prove a murder, we need to bring like 4 pieces of tail light. And then they just get 4 pieces of tail light and they're like, great. Yeah, like the nanny. Like, wait, like, why didn't they interview the nanny who was watching the kids while Brian was out like murder shopping? Like, I just feel like I would want to, at the minimum, know, like, hey, what was his, why I love you, Corey. Like, what was Brian's like vibe in the house? Like, if we're saying at that point, Anna is no longer alive, but also hasn't been disposed of yet because he's getting the nanny to come watch the kids so he can go out to get the tools, then she's in the house somewhere. Like, did he say to you, like, don't do the laundry today in the basement the way you normally do? Did he say like was he weird if you went close to the attic stairs? Like, Connor, love you, little baby face, but do you have anything going on up there? Like, do you have any questions? No? Okay. Well, I do. Deputize me, Mass State Police. Give me a couple minutes just chit-chatting with a couple of these people. Because like, do they not want I guess they just want the conviction and that's that. And for a while it's been working and they get their convictions and that's that. But no, Derek just asked, did he get convicted today or not? Also, Derek's been working on like an entire Karen Read the musical. It was not what I was expecting in a very like emotional way. So if you guys are wanting like to really get in your feels about the Karen Read trial and also see just like some very talented work, go check out Derek Carney's channel. Okay, hello. I didn't mean to do that, but hello, Jen. Yeah, it was just interesting. Yeah. So that's that, I think. Does anyone have questions? I'm sorry if I ignored you in the chat. I didn't mean to. This is what I'm saying. Leslie just asked, where was the body? In the basement? How could Brian ensure? Like, imagine you, like, you're not even hiding a dead body. Like, imagine you're hiding like something, like you're hiding something in your house that's like not a big deal, but you're like, oh, I don't want somebody to find this. If you leave your house and you know that thing is hiding, I feel like the entire time you're out, your brain is going to be like, oh my God, they're like definitely like, you play out the whole scenario. It's like they found the thing, they did this, they did it. And he's just walking around Lowe's like, la-di-da-di-da. Like, did he tell her, like, don't go? Did he lock a door that's normally unlocked? Like, did she try to get somewhere that is normally locked? Like, do we care? Do you have the same questions I have? Yuri, Or are you just asking yourself what song you're going to sing next at karaoke? Because honestly, that's like when I liked Yuri. Actually, when I liked Yuri the most was when he read the text messages. I like almost forgot I didn't like him for a second when he was like, that's gross. Emily, how was the audio quality of the interviewing? The audio quality. Okay. No, it seemed fine. It actually was like very clear. And they seemed very I felt like Yaz did a good job of there wasn't a lot of like lead up to hearing his voice. It was just suddenly like she was talking. Sorry, I know that was probably annoying in your ears. It was like she was talking, and then like all of a sudden the recording started playing of him, and it kind of like shocked you, like, oh wow, you know, it was a good. Her voice is very like smart. Bedtime story a little bit. Okay, wait. Mitchell said, why did he fall through the attic floor? I don't know who you're talking about, but I'm sure you're talking about Brian, but in the evidentiary hearing, Yuri said something where I was like, wait, did Yuri fall through the attic? Because he was like getting so weird about the attic. I was like, oh my God, Yuri broke the attic. Also, thank you to everybody who said happy birthday. That's really nice. I'm also not a big birthday person, like for myself. I really love celebrating other people's birthdays. And then my own birthday, it like kind of makes sense that I just wanted to like be by myself because I always feel I don't like when people sing and stuff, but I appreciate just being here with you guys. Miss Jessica, I need this to happen. Miss Jessica said, I want to sing karaoke with Yuri. I need you guys to do like Summer Lovin' or like some like like Islands in the Stream, like something that's like a duet. Yeah. Okay, wait. Can we talk about I just saw a comment about Yuri interviewing a 6-year-old. Yeah, Yuri was busy asking a toddler. Natalie said Yuri was busy asking a toddler to describe a duffel bag. Like, he has kids, right? Like, even my like most capable, like with it kindergartners that I taught, I wouldn't like I had like okay, I had a little girl, Sophia. Hi, Sophia, if you're here for some weird reason, but like genuinely one of the smartest people I've ever met, like on a level where it was like the way that her brain worked was just like amazing. Like I would tell her, like, oh yeah, like if you're multiplying something, you have like 5 of them 5 times, like how many would that be? And she was like 5 times 25. And she just like figured out multiplication. I still wouldn't rely on Sophia for the information that I needed to like move forward in a murder investigation because she's still 6. And the fact that like there was so much that Yuri, who's not trained to interview children, like was like, yes, the young child, he kept calling him the oldest son. And it's like the oldest of a 6, a 4, and a 2-year-old, not like not like a 14-year-old. Chloe's mom asked, did the judge, I unfortunately don't have the answer to this. She asked, did the judge read the jury question into the record? We didn't hear it. I had left by then. That was another reason why today was the perfect day for me to go, because I literally watched both opening statements. And then I was like, well, that's as much as my attention span can handle. And I went home and it was perfect. So 10 out of 10 recommend going on closing, or probably like opening. Actually, no, because opening they didn't have that. It was like empty. So go on closing. It's like the day to go. I didn't even know that, but it was like a spectator event. Yeah, all of a sudden, like Bruce asked, did Yuri have a dictionary so he could understand the kid? Like in the evidentiary hearing, all of a sudden he's like, understands all these words but didn't know theory. He did ask for whoever, I forget who was, maybe it was Tipton, was asking him questions, and he said the word temporal, and Yuri was like, what do you mean by that? And I was like, okay, there might actually be some words that are hard for you. Theory is not one of them. Okay. Yeah, does Yuri have kids? Does anybody know for sure if Yuri has kids? Miss Jessica, I think you did. She said, I was in Greece multiple times and am a professionally trained dancer. You, girl, are like a jack of many trades. Is that the saying? This girl does it all. Okay. I got to do these. Tons of fun. Hi. So proud of you, and I hope you enjoyed your day. Thank you. You're the best. McKee12 became a YouTube member. Thank you. Kay Schmidt gifted 5 memberships. Oh, yay for people who got those. Wait, not you can do it now. You did do it. Just Susie said that and sent $2. Thank you so much. I like really, I like cannot. Mama, she said, we're so proud of you for reals though. Like, you guys are seriously, I don't know how to explain it. I really love it though. You guys are the best. Proctorial misconduct, the newest best name ever, sent $5 and said they simply don't care if they get the bad guy. They just want the win. I was livid they didn't bring the proctorial misconduct. That, like, it just feels, and like, I feel like we'll never really have an answer to this, but I would love to know kind of like a what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of situation. Like, was this system a problem and then they hired more people that they were like, yay, you'll be a problem too? Were they trying to do the right thing, but then they were like bad at their jobs and they were like getting desperate and then just never learned what they were supposed to do? Like, are they bad people? Like, I just don't, it just seems like it would be fun to be a detective and like be fun to get to the bottom of mystery. And it seems like that is a quality that if you were hiring Colonel Noble, paging Colonel Noble, if you are hiring people, it seems like the like desire to want to figure things out should be like the number one quality that you look for in hiring. And like, yeah, like Susie Q said, work culture and meatball at the helm. It's like, I don't like, to me, Morrissey just feels like a dope, not like a wait, happy birthday, Terry. To me, Morrissey just feels like a doofus, like a dopey guy, like kind of just like, oh, I guess I'm in charge now. Like, even okay, the read I got about his leaked emails were that he doesn't know that his phone emails and his computer emails could be the same emails. Like, I don't think he knows that you can log into your iCloud from your phone on your computer. And all those emails that Morrissey sent to himself that ended up like exposing how just like dumb he is at a lot of these things, and what opened the investigation up to them being able to get his phone. I picture him just like on the toilet and he's scrolling on his phone. And then he's like, oh, I got to send this one to my computer email so I can print it out later. And then he just sends it to himself. And it's like, somebody teach him that he could just open that on his computer. Like, he doesn't feel nefarious to me. He feels just dopey, but dopey people can be like very easily not even brainwashed, but just like convinced that like I'm the best, sir. And it's like I feel like all people would need to do is like say like we're working hard over here, and he's like I have the best guys. So I don't think he knows like the right qualities to look for. Yeah, what was wait? Isn't his email like cheesy banana? Wasn't it something like that? It was so stupid. I just saw somebody asked, "Oh, what will Miss Heather D said, "What will you follow next?" I will just follow you guys wherever you go. um, I l- Words matter said I like you sitting. I feel very like my feet are asleep. I feel weird sitting, but I appreciate that because I should get better at this. Yes. I've also me and you are like on the same page tonight because like every one of your comments that I see, it says Morrissey seems like someone an Albert can push around. Like that I feel the exact same way. Um Ketchup, yeah. So Ketchup Van Hines said, "You're like me, Ems. I just don't trust the law enforcement system." And it's like I want to. Like I've said this before. Like in my brain, it's like sunshine and rainbows, and it's like in my head, there is a world that we live in where the law enforcement system works so well that it both works as like a deterrent to people to prevent crime where they're like I don't want to do a bad thing because I know that those guys are so good that like if I Google search how to dispose of a body, they're going to know about it, and so instead like I'm going to like stay out of trouble and like not do bad things. And on the flip side, it's like rehabilitates people enough that if somebody is incarcerated, especially for like a short period of time, that it like makes them better on the other end. And that would be a system I would trust. Like, and I, in my brain, like there is a world where where it's not that hard to get there. Like, it, the law is written right now. To me, I feel like the law is written in a way that, like, we wouldn't have to change a lot if we followed the rules. And the problems happen when we color outside the lines and make up our own rules. Anyways. Hi, Kelly, Chloe. Oh, I forgot to do sea creatures today, and I just thought of that from when you degraded my sea creatures with sex toys. If you guys haven't seen this, I'm not pulling it up, but it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. She gave all the sea creatures sex toys. It was crazy. Oh yeah, of course. Miss Heather D said Kelsey Fitzsimmons next. Also, Lindsay Clancy's case is coming up. And I think that is going to be a very interesting one for I'm excited to hear. I'm excited, I'm nervous to hear people's opinions about how the evidence comes out and like how the general public interprets postpartum psychosis, because from the way that people have reacted to Kelsey Fitzsimmons, I still feel very much like postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis are very misunderstood. And I hope, I don't know how the evidence is going to come out in Lindsay Clancy's trial, but if we start to learn that she really was suffering from like a severe postpartum psychosis, and in that case like was not in control of her thoughts in that moment, like I hope that that is explained in a way that like we as the general public can really understand. Yeah, it's very Andrea Yates. Susie Q said, I like Reddington too. I think she'll be in a hospital forever. I don't know. I like Reddington too. And I don't know, like that's another one where it's just like hard to know like what it's for. like thinking about what she's been through, I feel like she's punishing herself in her mind every day more than any punishment ever could. Like, truly. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because every single one of your comments is like spot on with exactly where my brain is at. We love Reddington. Good job with Jen McCabe. Yes, let me see. But yeah, I think that Lindsay Clancy's case could be one that will be if and like, okay, here's a good comment. So Andrea said, I feel very torn about Clancy. And what I was just gonna say, she said, from what I've seen, she was trying to get help, and the mix of a billion different medicines probably just made it worse. And now it's obvious she can't live with herself. Like, I hope that this is a case where people truly go in with an open mind, and not just like an open mind, but like a curious mind, the opposite of whatever Connor Keefe is, like a wanting to understand, like recognizing that we have never felt the way that she was feeling in that moment, and trying to really understand what, like, chemically, physically, psychologically was going on in that moment. And if I can just say something controversial for 1 second, I don't love the fact that Lindsay Clancy's husband left her alone with all 3 kids just to go out and peruse CVS and then pick up some food. And I know I've seen people already say, like, oh, it was just like 30 minutes away or blah, 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 blah. We have DoorDash here. This is not like the middle of nowhere. There is delivery. And it really, really freaks me out, rubs me the wrong way. I don't know exactly what it is, that he didn't take a kid. You could take 1 kid, you can take 2 kids, or you can take 3 kids, but you can't take no kids when your wife just got home from the psych ward and she's on 13 different medications, and she's been with the kids all day while you were working from home, and oh, you had a long day, now you need to be by yourself for a little bit. Take a kid. Just saying. And okay, actually, I'm done. Okay. Wait, no, I'm not done. Okay. Oh, and you forgive your wife? Yeah, because you know you did something wrong. He wrote a whole like op-ed in like the New York Times or something. I don't think it was the New York, maybe like New York Magazine or something. Like, I forgive her. It's like, no, you feel guilty because you didn't take a kid. Thank you. For real. And even if she had said, like, no, it's fine, like, nope, you still take a kid anyways because your wife has been with them all day long and she's on 13 different medications and she was just at McLean Hospital. Like, come on. But like, oh, he's so brave because he ran the marathon for her. So good Manning. Yeah. Okay. You guys, I'm about to get real like unhinged if we keep doing this. I've never talked for this long just to myself. Also, if Corey's still here, can you guys bully Corey and tell her to come back on my show? I want to go over some paperwork because she's so good at like explaining it on X, but like it's a lot to digest. Sometimes I just skim and then I get it wrong. So if you guys just all bully Corey a little bit, I would love for her to come on and just tell us everything, anything, all the things she's been doing. So I cannot tell you how much this woman has been doing behind the scenes, like on top of her like full-time, probably already plus job, to make sure that like, yeah, there you are. I'd love to if I could. Tell her she can do anything. Fight the power. No, eventually, someday. Also, I just realized that your picture is the confused octopus with the bows. I'm dead. That's my favorite. Although I got talked into changing the confused octopus because so many of you guys were like, "Hey, Emily," like in the sweetest way. You were like, "I just want to let you know, like octopuses are really smart." Which to that I say, I think the smartest people admit when they're confused. But that octopus did look particularly confused. So now the octopus is curious. Yeah, we're gonna make it happen sometime. Just one day, the next time that Corey wakes up and decides to like cause trouble, we're just gonna go live. Okay, yes. I was on, I'm not gonna get the second part is I don't whatever. I'm just happy to be included. I was on Jess Machado's whiteboard. I thought that was really funny that I like Jess Machado a lot. Like I'm entertained by her. I can see why I might not be like her type of person, and I'm not upset by that. I did think it was really funny that I'm like on the grading scale of the whiteboard, like I'm too sweet to like be in the good side. So maybe after tonight, after being like a little bit more unhinged, maybe I'll make it to the good side by being bad. That did crack me up. Also, just while we're on the topic, there's a lot, like we were just talking about, like Lindsay Clancy and Kelsey Fitzsimmons, and that's just like a teeny tiny piece of like everything that's going on. If you ever feel like you're like itching for like some entertainment and like some drama, and like you're not finding it right away, so you're like turning to Twitter drama, like there's so much. Like read a filing in Kelsey's case, and then all of a sudden you'll have a whole lot more that you can be like, hey, Bettero, like, why don't you tell the court that she can blow into a scram now and let's get her home? Why are we waiting for the SJC? Just saying. Like there's a lot of drama in the court system. Once we get here, I'll make a deal with you guys. Once we get to a point where there's like no more drama in the court system, I'll like start being like super unhinged on X. I'll just like do weird stuff and be like, nah, I don't really know what it would look like because I haven't had to think about that yet. But I'll start shit on X when all of the shit is gone in the court system. Does that sound like a good deal? Yeah? Who's in? Speaking of drama, in like 6 minutes, I think Ray from Dallas is interviewing Lindsay Gattani, which that sounds like fun. So I will watch that. So I'll wrap us up. I tried to do the thing where you could like, I could like send you guys like right to him, but it wasn't available. He has to like change his settings. I don't know how to tell somebody how to do that. Yeah. Miss Jessica said that Hines needs to do a catch up about Lindsay Clancy. I would love to do to like become more of an expert in like what's happened so far. I know Reddington was just in court the other day. Maybe you guys, I'll do some research and do a little presentation about Lindsay Clancy because I feel passionately about the idea that she's not like immediately labeled as like a terrible person before we really truly understand what, like, if that's where we get led to, fine. But if I just like my own lens, like I can't see a mother doing something like that, like at all. And to me, that means like we need to like learn more about like what was going on chemically, physically, emotionally before we jump to conclusions. That was also like her story just like really got to me. Like I was like waking up in the middle of the night, like looking up like articles about it. Was just it's just really heartbreaking to think about like what must have been happening in her brain at the time. Anyways, hi little cupcake. Little cupcake, you are like such a superstar. I like cannot even like wrap my head around what Little Cupcake 1979 does in Melanie's chat every day. Like I tried once to be like, oh, I'll like help out like doing the mod stuff. And I was like overthinking like one comment that said like stupid and it said flag. And I was like, is this allowed? I don't know. And like Little Cupcake, you're just like all over it every day, just keeping it such like a peaceful, happy place. You're so good at what you do. You work so hard. You're there all the time. It's just cool. Good work. Do we have the same birthday? Samantha. I like that name. That's cute. Okay. I want to wrap you guys up so that you can get over to the drama stream. I've said this before also, like I think that even before, now that Lindsay Gattani is kind of like spilling the tea about everything, like I'm like 100% on board to like learn from her. But even before that, I was interested to hear that like side of the drama, and people got mad at me for calling it drama. But the fact that the Massachusetts State Police capitalized on the like drama that was going on between Aiden and Lindsay to like create this whole ruse with the fake grand jury summons and blah blah blah, that makes it my problem now, because now it's part of the system. Like when it's just Twitter drama, I don't care, but when it's legal drama, like now you made it my problem. This was fun, you guys. I really just had a lovely time doing this. Oh, thank you, Mama She. Hold on. Mama She said, happy birthday and sent $9.99. You're so sweet. Oh, CT Girl said, really proud of you. Thanks for all you do. Happy birthday, Sagittarius girl. I need to learn more about what being a Sagittarius means. I'm not like a astrology person, but I always want to be. Like I like think I am, because I'll be like, oh, are you Aquarius? People are like, yeah, and I'm like, cool, I don't know what that means. Proctorial Misconduct sent $5 and said Morrissey isn't a super villain, but he's super villain adjacent. Interesting. Yeah, he can't be a super villain because he like can't fly in that suit. I've been on here for too long. Okay. I want to see the Reed team bring out all the dirt in their litigation. Like, yeah, can't we just like move faster? Like, why is everything so slow? I want the dirt now. I guess that's why people turn to Twitter drama, because it's like all happening so fast and it's happening like right this moment, and the next day there's new drama. Like I can understand why that part of it would be kind of captivating. Okay, you guys, I'll see you in Ray from Dallas's chat, I guess. And this was fun. Maybe I'll do it again. I'm going to be at in my undisclosed location hotel for the weekend. And the idea is that I was just going to like go off the grid. But then I was like, I actually don't want to go off the grid. I just want to be able to like do the things I want to do when I want to do them without getting interrupted. So if I wake up tomorrow and want to do this again, maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys are the best. Sleepless Sleuth sent $4.99 and said, happy birthday. Thank you. You're cracking me up last night. Oh, you guys, one more thing. I wrote a poem, Brian Walsh, because they keep on saying, like, he chopped her up because that's what you do to somebody you love. What was my poem? Roses are red. Your blood was... Roses are red. Your blood was too. I chopped you up because I love you. I'll end you guys with that tonight.
John Keefe was 46 years old. Psst, Peg, time to cry, because remember, oopsies, you thought he was 45. John Keefe was not a buffalo on the prairie. When I was a kid, I used to throw boulders off of bridges. Ah, what a thrill. The dater is the dater. And tonight, I'm going on a dater with Shannon Welcher. We have no idea how the collision happened, but if you have any doubts left, remember this. My best friend, Jen McCabe, said Bella's mom. Of course Karen hit him. Speaking of Jen McCabe, she's a soccer mom. She doesn't use Signal like Arca. She keeps everything right out in the open, like how long until John dies in the cold. Didn't need Michael Proctor. Tully is our Uber driver now. As the trial ends, we remember Barrows lied not, Kelly Dever. I know our times changed to whatever, but cops can't solve crime in bad weather.